Colleagues, the candidate is waiting on the lobby. Please don't admit. I shall admit him. Thank you.
Good morning, colleagues.
Morning, Dr. Martin. And morning in Kangole in Mbele.
Morning, VC and colleagues.
Morning, Prof. Barotra.
Morning, Prof.
Morning.
Barotra.
Good morning, Professor.
Morning.
Mr. Jidara, it's about 9 o'clock. I want to check with you if we got everybody as part of the panel.
VC, I'm trying to call Prof. Muchayeni, and I'm struggling to get hold of her, but if you can just be given 2 minutes.
Okay. Mr. Jidada, we're gonna need to proceed.
Okay, VC, Prof. Sibara, we've sent him the link to log in, and he's received it. He will be streaming, as he seems to be having a technical glitch. Then if he has a question, then he will forward it to us, as well as Prof. Muchaini.
Okay.
So long.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, VC. Can we admit first?
Yeah, we can admit him, and then we.
Okay.
Before we start with the order of the day today, I just need to first welcome the panel, more especially our two external experts, which is Professor Baruthram and also Professor Sibara. Professor Baruthram was the DVC at University of the Western Cape, and Professor Sibara has been a director, the Dean Executive DVC at the University of Limpopo. Also in the panel, we do have Ms. Dr. Renith Mbele, who's also a member of the council and member of the executive. I also need to welcome all the faculty board members who have joined this interview through the MacroSim Team app, and also just to also welcome them. Prof. Gerebe, we're going to be giving you about 15 minutes, of which you will have to make your presentation. After your presentation, we'll have about 10 minutes or so for questions that will be coming from the faculty board. We're not going to interject while you're presenting. We'll allow you to finish your presentation and thereafter able to take some questions and clarity that will arise as you're presenting. Without much further ado, let me hand over to you, Prof. Gerebe, for your presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, VC. Let me try and share my presentation. And while I'm doing that, to you, VC, the selection panel, faculty board members, and all those that are currently in this platform, I thank the opportunity that I've been given to come and present and share my ideas on how I'm going to shape the newly formed faculty of Science, Engineering, and Agriculture. I'm not sure if you can see my slides.
Prof. Gerebe, I can see you. Or maybe you to confirm for me if the members of the faculty board are able to, access this presentation. I'm seeing messages that are coming here that there's some difficulties. Can we just quickly make sure that we check that so that when we give Professor Gerebe, we don't need to stop him while he's already presenting. Mr. Jidada, you will just check for me and confirm if everybody outside can able to follow the presentation.
He is already sitting with the media team, VC. They're sorting that out. Thank you.
Okay. So, Prof, I think you may proceed. I'm being assured that they are assisting the members who are unable to join.
Thank you, Chair. I've been asked to make a presentation on how I will position the Faculty of Science, Engineering, and Agriculture to achieve the objectives of the Univen 2021 to 2025 strategic plan. My name is Aipeli Gerebe, And as I've said earlier, I'm quite excited to be here in this platform making my presentation. Now, as an outsider coming in, what I believe should be done first is to acquaint myself with how the faculty is. And obviously to do that, one will need to set up a faculty self-assessment. And in this self-assessment, the idea would be to establish the current position or status of the faculty, which of course is 3 schools that are forming that faculty. And this way we become aware of the extent of our capabilities and shortfall, which will then give us an advantage in planning the path moving forward. And this self-assessment that I'll propose will be against the following. Strategic Plan 2016-2020, which is the one preceding this new one, and to check how the 3 schools in the faculty have managed to reach those goals of the strategic plan. And we'll look at the curriculum design, development, and delivery, then student-focused teaching and learning, so that we see how we're fared in that area. Research and engagement, governance, management, and operation, then quality assurance, and also more importantly, staff profiling, to see the type of staff that the faculty has accumulated along, and their qualifications, all that profile. And having done that, I think the next step that should be done is to hold a faculty strategic plan session, which then will look at the current strategic plan of the university and map up the way forward in designing those goals, those objectives that will then assist the faculty to play a role in assisting the university to reach those goals come 5 years at the end of the strategic plan. The position of the faculty, I'm proposing that it will be anchored by 4 commitments. That is student support, quality teaching and learning, consolidation of research, and importantly, effective governance. And then I'll go through each one of these just to explain. Now, student support, perhaps before I start with that, I need to quote Professor Vincent Tinto, who said that student success does not arise by chance. It requires an intentional, structured, and proactive set of strategies that are systematic and carefully aligned to the goal of student success. So we have to plan this very, very carefully. And this student support will carry it over 4 levels. 4 levels. At the institutional level, through the support services that university will have, and in class, and then of course the strong support of the academic staff. And in the institutional level, we need to make decisions based on data that is accumulated. So we accumulate data and then we make those decisions that are then put forward to assist the students. And of course, the data will also advise us on the allocation of resources for action, which we will need to put forward as a university. And then on the support services, there must be a strong academic support that will give to the student, strong social support, which will include counseling of students, mentoring of students, all those areas. And of course, all these of the above, the faculty will do that in collaboration with the University Center for Higher Education, Teaching and Learning, as that unit is primarily there to deliver some of this function. And then, of course, the faculty will have to look at financial support for students by looking for bursaries that should be given to a number of students in the faculty. And then at classroom level, we must have clear guidelines on module course outlines, supplemental instructions, and very, very important early identification of students that are at risk, and then also modules that are at risk, so that we can then put corrective measures in time to make sure that these students do succeed. Assessment and assessment feedback, these are quite important issues that we will need to look at. I've just mentioned a few there. And then on the support staff, we will need to have peer mentoring of academic staff at school levels there. We need to get the academic staff to be trained in pedagogy and instructional design to support blended learning, as with the COVID-19 situation. I think the e-learning it takes much precedence now over face-to-face, but one assume that there will become a time where face-to-face classes will still be available to be done. So that will then be having a blended learning. And for those academic staff that are still have not acquired master's, PhDs, we need to create opportunities to get them to have those qualifications. And of course, the training of academic staff, empowering them, it then augur well for the students, because they will then be in a position to deliver the lectures in a better way. The second point is the quality teaching and learning. And I believe quality teaching and learning is a crucial component of any university DNA. And in this quality teaching and learning, we'll be looking at quality programs, sound delivery strategy on those programs, and that will then lead to improved graduateness and the employability of our students. And to do this, we will need to have an integrated classroom learning with real-world experience. And here I'm talking about programs of work integrated learning that needs to be introduced in certain programs if we don't have them yet. Capstone projects, case-based projects, etc. And these, of course, will be successfully achieved through partnerships that we'll have with external stakeholders. We must have relevant programs in the faculty, and these relevant programs will achieve that by regular program reviews that we look at data and market-informed data that we've accumulated, which will advise the kind of curriculum that we'll have to implement. And then that will also lead to introduction of new programs. For instance, the emerging field of data science, we'll need to look into that. And of course, this is also in line with the university mission, which says that the university wants to produce graduates that are locally relevant and globally competitive. The third point on consolidation of research. I don't have the statistics of how the three schools in the faculty has been doing as far as research is concerned, but looking at the number of researchers that are there that have got NRF rating, that have got PhDs, one of course realized that there is a lot of research that is going on in the faculty. But we need to assess this research and see that it is indeed aligned with what the university is aiming at. So in order to do that, I think we will need to have a faculty research plan. Develop that faculty research plan that will take the following into consideration. It will have to be aligned with the university's research niche areas. It will include proposals on establishment of research laboratories, research centers and institutes, including also innovation hubs. That will all come into that research plan. And this research plan, of course, and any other initiatives that will also come along, will also be contributing towards the successful implementation of the Univen Integrated Entrepreneurship, Innovation and Biodiversity Plan. So we'll be taking that into consideration as we do this research plan. Strengthening of relationships and partnerships with our outside stakeholders, very, very important. The research, strategic research partnerships, which then promotes research work in the faculty and also serve to deepen and grow its reputation significantly. So that's quite important. We'll have to look at exchange programs for both staff and postgraduate students, both nationally and internationally, partnerships that we'll have to look at with relevant industries, with the work of the faculty. Just mentioning a few. Now, all these that have been indicating, obviously, for the success of everything, we need to have governance and administration, and not just governance and administration, but effective governance and administration within the faculty. That is the governance that will contribute in creating a faculty that is inspiring, proactive, student-focused, supportive, efficient, and effective. And in this governance, obviously, we'll have governing structures in the faculty, like a faculty management team, which will have to be created, to be formed, and on the level of the schools, school management committees. These are just but two examples of those governing structures that we might think of to assist in governing the faculty. A strong faculty registrar's office that will deal with...
my apology, you got about 5 minutes to wrap your presentation.
Thank you, Chair. A strong faculty registrar's office, and then faculty committees, obviously, which the key faculty committees will be mimicking those of Senate committees, and we can also have other faculty committees that will deal with other functions of the faculty. And we'll have to look at our policies and procedures with the aim to have appropriate procedures. If we have policies and procedures Univen has got those, and we'll have to look at if there is a need of amending those so that they can fit now with the faculty structure. Now, all these things, we need to do monitoring and evaluation to make sure that whatever we put forward to do, it is being done, it is successful, and if there are any obstacles, we need to be able to find that in time. So we'll need to create monitoring tools that will assist us. And then I think the faculty annual performance plan, which will be having every year in the beginning of the year, looking at the university annual performance plan. That faculty annual performance plan will also be assisting us as a measure at the end of the year and even mid-year to assist us to see how far we are progressing with the goals that we have set for the faculty. And more importantly, quality assurance instruments that will assist us to look at the quality of the programs, of any work that the faculty is doing. And in order to identify all the obstacles that will prevent us in achieving some of these goals, I think we'll need to have a risk register, which will update each time and make sure that we negotiate around all those risks that we have, mitigate around them, so that we make sure that we remove them, and in order to successfully achieve the goals that we have set. And with that, Chair, thank you so much. Ndiyaliwo.
Thank you, Prof. Gerebe. We are going to take some questions from the faculty board, and those will be led by the Director HR. Over to you, Director. Can I request Ms. Magau, can you just mute your volume, please? Your microphone, please. Over to you, Director.
Good morning, VC. Good morning, Prof. Gerebe. So far, I have 4 questions for you. I'll give you all the questions, and if you can just note them so that I give you all the 4 questions at the same time. Question number 1. The Faculty of Science, Engineering and Agriculture will have a School of Engineering and Built Environment. If appointed, what strategies and plans will you put in place to ensure that the school is set up, competitive and appropriately structured?
Okay.
Question number 2. The School of Engineering and Built Environment will be constituted of programs that will require professional accreditation from relevant bodies. If appointed, how will you ensure that full accreditation for programs is achieved and maintained?
Okay.
Number 3. What is your strategy to attract and retain talent to the faculty?
Okay.
And the last question, the bureaucracy at Univen is by many academics experienced as crippling to their academic activities. What will you do to improve this situation?
Can you repeat that? please.
The bureaucracy at Univen is by many academics experienced as crippling to their academic activities. What will you do to improve this situation? Those are the questions. Those are the questions that I've received from the floor so far. Thank you, VC.
Thank you, Director. Prof, you may proceed.
Thank you, Chair. I will start with the last one on the bureaucracy at Univen. I believe that you know, when you are a leader, one of the key issues that you need to do is to bring the people together so that you have a well-structured unit to achieve what the faculty or the university wants to achieve. And one better way of doing that, obviously, is to make sure that you are transparent in everything that you do. And when you do that, obviously, you are not working alone to make sure that the faculty do progress. It's a teamwork. You are transparent. You also bring in the people in the ideas that you have to make sure that everyone understand what is the goal of the institution, of the faculty, and make sure that everyone do contribute, take part in that. You don't put people aside and identify only few that you want to work with, because that way, that's when you create all these divisions that are always rearing its ugly head there. So my strategy will be transparent and making sure that everybody is brought along into the ideas that one has, and we work as a team. The third question on the strategies to attract and retain talent to the faculty. The quality of the faculty, the good work as far as teaching and learning, as far as research is concerned, if what we're doing there is of quality, that is an advert by itself, advertising the faculty outside, and those people will see the good work that is being done, the quality programs, the quality research which is being done, and they would like to associate themselves with the faculty so that they become part of this great faculty that will be forming. And of course, when you have all the staff that are in the faculty, you need to nurture them. You need to nurture them and make sure that all their needs, that of course are in the reasonable way, all their needs are attended to, and you create opportunities for growth in all those academics that of course still growth. You need to create opportunities for training them and make sure that everyone is happy in the faculty. So the key here is to make sure that what we do in the faculty is of quality, it's of a high standard, and by itself that will be attracting the talent that is outside there, which will come, and then we nurture that talent. The program accreditation for the School of Engineering. In my current work that my current position, the previous position that I've also been at, I've been tasked to introduce a lot of new programs in the schools that I headed, both at University of Limpopo and now at Salt Lake University. Lots of new programs that we have developed, and I'm aware of all the routes that one has to go, that the faculty will have to go to get those programs accredited, which of course will start with the process in the universities that will go through the approval of the school board, the Senate, and then get to be submitted to Department of Higher Education so that they are approved for the program and qualification mix of the university. And once that is done, then they go to CHE and SAQA for accreditation and registration, and you have those programs. And to make sure that these programs stays relevant, I have indicated in my presentation that we will need to have regular program reviews that will be done probably 3 years, 5-year program reviews, and of course the internal quality assurance mechanisms will make sure that these programs stay on course to be relevant programs. The faculty, the School of Engineering that will need to be set up to make sure that it has got an appropriate structure. I also have some experience, of course, in setting up these type of schools. Obviously, one does not need to reinvent the wheel. There are strategies out there that have been used to introduce these new programs, new schools. I'm sure that University of Venda has been looking at introducing the School of Engineering for some time. I do know that at some stage I met some people from University of Venda that were looking at this engineering school. So obviously one will then have to have a concept document if it's not there yet, and one will need to have a concept document which is looking at the creation of this engineering school. We'll have to do benchmarking and make sure that if you want to create a niche a school in the types of programs that we will need to offer, so we benchmark and look at these issues. And one thing that I know, of course, is that engineering is quite an expensive program to run. Obviously, there will need to be a lot of support that comes from the university as far as resources is concerned to make sure that this goal is it's aligned. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much. I think we had and I want us to maybe work within 4 questions that we have. Let me thank you, Prof. Gerebe, for the presentation and also how you responded to the questions. As you are aware, we are having this first part of the interview wherein you presented. We are planning to see you again today after 11 for a structured face-to-face interview. So from my side and on behalf of the panel, let me thank you for your presentation and also saying we're going to see you again after 11 today. Thank you so much, Prof. You are excused.
Thank you, Chair.
Excuse, not excuse.
Sorry, VC, the next candidate is already on the lobby.
The previous candidate has already left. I think we may proceed, Mr. Jidada.
Yes, the previous candidate has left already. Thank you, VC. Okay, welcome, Prof. Mohalaka. Over to you, VC.
Thank you, Mr. Jidada. Can I just request the members that you mute your microphones and only allow the person who's presenting to able to speak? I could hear some of the voices when members speak if you have not muted a phone, and it's not very professional. Thank you for doing that. Let me welcome Prof. Mokhalaga to present for us in this presentation, in these interviews today. Prof, just to alert you, we got a panel, and out of that panel, I need just to note 3 external members of this panel, which is Professor Baruthram, who had been a direct executive DVC at the University of Western Cape, and also Professor Sibara, who had been a dean, executive DVC again, I'm sorry, at the University of Limpopo, and also Dr. Renith Mbele, who is a member of council. And also there will be a public, or what we can say, a faculty board that is joining these proceedings through the Microsoft Teams app. And I also want to welcome them. Prof, I'm going to give you about 15 minutes, of which you'll have to make your presentation. And also we'll set aside about 10 minutes or so for questions and answers that will be coming up from the faculty board. Without much further ado, Prof, let me hand over to you.
Thank you, Professor Ntambeleni, and good morning to everybody, the executive management of the University of Venda, the external assessors, members of the University Council, and members of the faculty board. Thank you for granting me this opportunity to present my plan on how I intend to position the Faculty of Science, Engineering and Agriculture to achieve the objectives of the Univen's 5-year strategic plan. I will share my presentation now. Chair, are you able to see my presentation on the other side?
Yes, we are able to see.
Thank you. So the ARISE value chain model of the University of Venda is a variable tool that is central to the implementation of the university's strategic plan. And I intend to use the model to align activities in the faculty to match strategic objectives and thrusts. And an example of how I would use the ARISE value chain is illustrated in the slide. We operate in a volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous world, also known as the VUCA world. It is therefore very imperative that the Faculty of Science, Engineering, and Agriculture offer a transformed and relevant curriculum that aims to prepare, train, and develop graduates for the future world of work. In a fast-changing economy and that they possess graduate attributes that sets them apart and make them sought after by industry. To achieve this, I intend to ensure that everything done in the Faculty of Science, Engineering and Agriculture is aligned towards student-centeredness and student success. The following activities are planned to achieve the strategic objective of Strategic Thrust 1. To maintain a relevant curriculum that meets the needs of industry, I intend to introduce periodical program reviews from which quality improvement plans will be developed to benchmark the curriculum and to ensure adherence to national quality standards. The first year experience is very crucial and can determine whether a student can succeed or not. Therefore, to ensure a smooth transition from high school to university, I intend to develop an onboarding and orientation program for first-time entering first-year students. This orientation program can take place online or physically and will include fun activities that students can undertake while being acquainted to the staff, to the facilities and resources which are available on campus. I also intend to put a system in place for close and frequent monitoring of the success rate of subjects, identifying high impact subjects and putting in place mitigating interventions with performance indicators and targets. To maintain a high success rate and a high throughput rate at undergraduate level will assist the faculty to ensuring that we have a pool of postgraduate students. Interventions such as tracking of at-risk students and referring them to the Student Counseling and Career Development Unit for customized interventions can reduce student dropout and improve success. The UCDP student development grant can also be used for appointing mentors and tutors for peer and academic support. To improve the graduatability and employability of students, I intend to ensure that a program qualification mix of the faculty is relevant and allows access and articulation pathways. This can also include extended programs to increase the throughput rate, inclusion of diplomas and degrees, which can be offered both online and contact through full-time and block release modes of offering. And very important is the partnering of the faculty with TVET colleges to expand access to higher education while ensuring that enrollment targets are met. One of the graduate attributes is that graduates must be employable. Therefore, I intend to develop programs in the faculty for especially diploma programs to have a work integrated learning component to enhance student employability. Preparing students for success requires that they are prepared for the world of work before graduation. So I will introduce work readiness workshops and career expos, which are tailor-made for the students of the faculty to empower them with skills and attributes that will ensure that they are employable on graduation. A relevant curriculum is not only important for student success, but it gives credibility to qualifications and the competence of graduates. The coronavirus pandemic necessitated that universities move to online teaching, learning, and assessment in an unprecedented way. This requires academic staff to possess skills to use multimodal teaching, learning, and assessment. And to enhance the curriculum, I plan to put in place a targeted support programs for academic staff so that they possess skills and competences that will allow them to integrate technology in their classrooms. Also, for them to have skills that will allow them to transform the curriculum to digital learning content that engages the student both synchronously and asynchronously. This will require using the UCDP staff development grant for continuous training of academic staff in digital pedagogy and obtaining teaching qualifications to enhance teaching practice in the faculty and also to cultivate a culture of scholarship, of teaching and learning. To transit from schools to multi and interdisciplinary programs in the faculty, it is important to first foster a spirit of working collaboratively together towards co-creation of knowledge. Through consultative workshops with all stakeholders in the faculty and within the university and with industry, I intend to establish multi and interdisciplinary knowledge hub, niche areas and centers with a specific focus on sustainability, commercialization, and entrepreneurship. These strategic partnerships will include entering into memorandum of agreements and memorandum of understandings with industry to foster collaboration, to secure workplace training and employment for graduates. And also this can be another source of third stream income. It is very important to develop capacity and to also invest in research in order to enhance quality of research outputs for innovation and impact. I will cultivate a strong culture of support, especially for emerging and future academics, whereby they will be provided with support to obtain PhDs through giving them study leave, lecturing leave, using the UCDP Staff Development Grant. I will also ensure that they are mentored and assisted to secure the NRF Tutuka PhD tracking funding and also register them to participate in the TENSA PhD program that offers things like writing skills and as well as professional coaching and mentoring. To ensure inclusivity in the faculty, I will establish targeted development of designated groups such aimed at increasing the women professors in the faculty and increasing the number of NRF-rated researchers. The multi and interdisciplinary knowledge hub, niche areas and centers will drive impactful research, which will increase critical mass and finally increase the research output. The following activities are planned to achieve the strategic objectives of Strategic Thrust 2. The Faculty of Science, Engineering and Agriculture is sitting in a very privileged position to be able to easily assimilate an entrepreneurial culture and spirit, since by design, the faculty offers multidisciplinary programs and conducts multidisciplinary research that has potential for commercialization. I intend to include an entrepreneurship skills module in the curriculum of new programs or during recalculation of programs. Activities such as the annual entrepreneurship and innovation day, where a competition such as pitching by students and staff can ignite the spirit of entrepreneurship in the faculty. To establish a technology and innovation station that will house activities of the Univen's integrated entrepreneurship, innovation, and biodiversity plan, such as building a plant for beneficiation of raw materials, product development for small, medium, and micro enterprises, facilities for developing post-harvest and agro-processing technologies, and also establishing a central analytical facility. The faculty can also offer skills development of farmers and startups, which can be formed by students within the UIE IBP unit. The faculty can gain financial stability by generating third stream income. And this I intend to do by developing short courses or short learning programs for the chemical and allied, agricultural and engineering industries. Of course, using the skills of the staff which are already available within the faculty. In addition to this, I plan to involve the Technology Transfer Office as part of the Knowledge Hub activities, where funding platforms such as the DTI 3 program and the SPY program will be explored for funding projects that have potential of commercialization in collaboration with industry. To promote effective governance and management systems in the faculty, it is very important that all the HODs undergo corporate governance training, such as the King 4 report and the King Code. This will ensure transparency, accountability, and ownership that will eventually lead to an improvement in productivity and efficiency. I believe that a vigorous marketing campaign will enhance the corporate identity of the faculty and the university. Therefore, I intend to work with the Corporate Affairs Division to profile researchers and research groups, staff and student achievements in the faculty using the faculty website as well as digital platforms and print media. To strengthen the systems and processes in the faculty, I intend to develop a database of equipment and facilities in the faculty, to develop an instrument replacement register, ensure that capital equipment budget is in place, and that the research output subsidy is reinvested back into the faculty for capacity building. To ensure continued offering of quality service, I will ensure that there is a review of service level agreements, such as the service subject provision, to improve on service delivery and increase productivity. I will also ensure that all departments solicit feedback from students on their learning experience annually through polls and surveys. This will help the faculty to identify areas of improvement that can be included in the faculty quality improvement plan. And finally, for the strategic thrust 4, to strengthen the university and faculty's local, regional, and international profile and visibility, I will ensure that the faculty engages its alumni association to foster plowing back and to create professional networks. I will also ensure that the annual stakeholder engagements, such as the academic advisory board meetings, take place and are reported in the faculty annual report. To strengthen scholarship, academic staff will be encouraged to exploit opportunities such as bilateral and multilateral collaborations, memberships in associations such as the Association of Commonwealth Universities, the Work Energy Food Nexus in Africa networks, and also to participate in staff exchange programs such as the Fulbright and the Erasmus Plus programs. A fortnightly faculty communique to students will ensure that students are aware of the opportunities which are available there, such as exchange programs offered by the Fulbright, Erasmus Mundi, Mandela Rhodes, and the Commonwealth scholarships. I will also ensure that there is a faculty annual research day where the research activities in the faculty are showcased, and also to share best practices, and also host and invite plenary lectures and speakers from renowned scientists and engineers. And finally, I believe that with the support and collaborative engagement of all stakeholders within the faculty and within the university, I have no doubt that all the strategic objectives will be realized by the Faculty of Science, Engineering and Agriculture, and that they will contribute positively to the university's 5-year strategic plan. And I thank you.
Thank you, Prof. Mokhalaka, for the presentation. We will be taking 4 questions from the faculty board, which will be read to you by the Director HR. Over to you, Director. Director HR.
Good morning, VC. Good morning, Prof.
Morning.
How are you?
I'm good, and yourself?
I'm well, thanks. I have 4 questions for you. Maybe Prof would want to note them down.
Yes.
All right. Number 1, the experimental farm is a critical component for agricultural research projects for both students and staff. How would you ensure that this resource is up to standard for conducting high-tech field research studies?
Yes.
Question number 2. Considering the diversified nature of disciplines in the faculty, what will be your strategy towards pulling everyone together towards common goals underpinned by quality teaching and learning, research and innovation, and internationalization of curriculum? And what could specific goals or ideas that encompass all your key objectives about the running of the Faculty of Science, Engineering and Agriculture be?
Can you please repeat the last part? The key performance indicators?
Okay. And what could specific goals or ideas that encompass all your key objectives about the running of the Faculty of Science, Engineering and Agriculture be?
Okay. Yes.
Number 3, what is your strategy to attract and retain talent to the faculty?
Yes.
And question number 4, the government recognizes the need of expatriate staff and has put in place issuance of critical skills visas. How can you use this window to fill the gaps where such skills are lacking?
Okay. Okay, I've got it. Can I go ahead?
Yes, you may, Prof. You may respond to the questions.
Thank you. The first question is on how I intend to make sure that the experimental farm maintains its high-tech or provides high-tech training for research and training. So, of course, we'll all know that it is very important that there is a maintenance and a plan and a plan for the upkeep of facilities. So the first thing that I will ensure that it is in place is to have such an operational plan for the experimental farm. It is also very important that to note that the farm will be used for training of undergraduate and of postgraduate students. So here I intend to form collaborative networks and also to explore things like the AgriCita, where we can enter into MOUs for skills development, where farming, research in farming can be explored, and also the activities that will be taking place in the farm, they can be linked to the university's institute. And okay, I will have to get the name here. I'm sorry. They have to be integrated or linked to the activities of the Univen's Integrated Entrepreneurship, Innovation, and Biodiversity Plan. So things like crop production techniques, things like agro-processing, things like post-harvest technologies. Those will be things that will be developed on the farm. So the farm will be, the experimental farm will be closely linked to the research activities that are taking place in the faculty, not only for training undergraduate students, but also for training postgraduate students. So there will be a lot of research that is taking place at using the experimental farm. And then the second one is about the diversity of the faculty, and how I will ensure that or which ideas I have in mind to ensure that the objectives are met. So I strongly believe in a collaborative leadership style. So in this way, you pull in people together, you break down the walls of working in silos. People are free to contribute towards a common goal. People are free to come up with innovative solutions for problems, and also for the productivity of the faculty. So since the faculty is diverse in nature, for me, it presents an opportunity. For instance, in my presentation, I did mention that the faculty will be able to assimilate the spirit of entrepreneurship very easily, and innovation, because of the types of programs and the type of disciplines which are in the faculty. So the plans and the goals or ideas that I have in mind to make sure that all the disciplines are incorporated in the strategic objectives of the faculty would be something like, for instance, in terms of teaching and learning, we can have a faculty teaching and learning day, an annual faculty teaching and learning day, where all the latest teaching and learning strategies are shared, where best practice in teaching practice is shared among the different disciplines, and where we have like a community of engagement, where all the academic staff, irrespective of which discipline they can come and share their ideas. Another one in terms of research would be, I've already mentioned it in my presentation, would be a faculty research a day or a seminars. In these faculty research seminars, of course, it will be open to all the disciplines within the faculty. And in these seminars, we can also invite plenary lectures and speakers from well-known, and also, people who are very knowledgeable and who are respected in the different fields and disciplines in the faculty. Okay, and then in terms of quality, I believe that we have to benchmark and standardize the quality standards that we would like to maintain in the faculty. So having your program reviews, where you have a standardized model of I'm disconnected. I'm sorry about that. I was disconnected for a moment.
That's fine.
Yes, I was talking about quality. Yes. So in terms of quality, benchmarking of quality standards, standardization of quality standards within the faculty, that can make sure that everybody within the disciplines, they adhere to the minimum quality standards. We can have a faculty committee for teaching and learning, where we standardize things like moderation of assessments. We look at, we can have even like a template that can be developed for moderation, and also for the quality assessment of the question papers before they are written by students. And then for the strategy that I would implement to attract and retain talent in the faculty, I think the value proposition of the faculty to the potential candidates will be my selling point. So I will sell the Faculty of Science, Engineering and Agriculture as a faculty that is student-centered, that cares for its employees, for the well-being of the employees and the students, that is offers an enabling environment that allows people to grow and develop themselves, and that allows collaborative work towards creating knowledge and strives for excellence. So I think a very well packaged value proposition for will work towards retaining and attracting talent. And for emerging researchers, I think one of the challenges we have with retaining challenges is it could be the workload that goes towards teaching. That does not allow them enough time to establish themselves as researchers. So the value proposition there would be to look at programs or to offer funding that will allow emerging researchers and our future academics to be able to have a manageable workload that will allow them to concentrate their efforts on establishing themselves as researchers, and also have mentoring and coaching through using networks and links with established and retired professors, where they will be able to, assist, especially in things like grant writing, just to evaluate and to review their proposals before they are submitted to the funding agency. So yes, I would like to ensure that the faculty allows that environment that really cares and nurtures talent. And the last one about using the Home Affairs expatriate system for critical skills. So for this, I would think that the first thing that should be done is to do a skills audit within the faculty. Do a skills audit, identify the skills gaps within the faculty, and then we can have a recruitment drive with a targeted selection for recruiting and attracting those critical skills that will address the strategic objectives of the faculty and the university. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prof, for the presentation and also the answers that you provided to the question that we put to you. Prof, as you are aware, we will be seeing you again in the afternoon. Yes. Let me wish you all the best. Mr. Jidada.
We are inviting the next candidate just now.
Okay. Mr. Jidada, are we winning?
Yes, VC, we are on the line with the candidate on the other line. If we can just be given a minute or two.
Okay.
Okay, welcome, Professor Munda. I'll now hand you over to the VC. Over to you, VC.
Thank you, Mr. Jidada. Prof. Munda, if I may ask, can you maybe, yes, put your video on? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Prof, I'm going to give you about 15 minutes or so wherein you will have to make your presentation. And there will be about 10 minutes for questions from the faculty board. And then we'll sort of wrap up the interview. But also before we start, I just need to announce to you the panel that is sitting here today, much more the 3 external members that are part of this panel. Professor Baruthram, who was the DVC at University of the Western Cape, and also Professor Sibara, the DVC also from University of Limpopo. We are also joined by Dr. Reneth Mbele, who's also a member of the council, and also the internal members of the university as part of this interview. Prof, without much further ado, I'm going to give you time, and then you work within the 15 minutes I gave you, and then able to see how we move forward.
Thank you, VC. I hope you are able to see my screen.
Yes, we are able to see, Prof.
Okay, thank you very much for the invitation and for a chance to present myself to you. On the topic of positioning the Faculty of Science, Engineering and Agriculture to achieve the objectives of the Univen 2021-2025 strategic plan. My name is Josiah Munda. I'm a professional engineer. I will present along those 5 bullet points briefly on the scope of the portfolio, the challenges and opportunities in the sector, strategies, and a little bit on my strengths. The portfolio for Executive Dean, my understanding, number 1 in bold, is to be the academic leader of the faculty, to offer leadership, and then to coordinate development and implementation of the faculty strategic plan, which will then be in alignment with that of the university so that they sync. Of course, then to play a leading role in transformation within the university and higher education sector in South Africa in general, other than other managerial duties that come with that position. If I go to the challenges in the sector, which Univen is not isolated from, number 1, this problem of identity or differentiation on the offerings by different universities, traditional universities, universities of technology, comprehensive universities, and so on. There's also a very big problem of finding the right academic staff in the country, especially given the small number of Black South African academics in this scarce skills fields. And there's also a very strong pull from industry to take the same staff. There's a general misunderstanding about the work integrated learning, its need in the academic space, and finding placement for students. There's dwindling state funding, and there's that difficulty alongside it of university being able to charge reasonable fees And you'll recall the fees must fall and the problems we are seeing today. The latest problems at the University of Witwatersrand around yesterday, where unfortunately one person lost their life. There's also inadequate funding for equipment, infrastructure, especially in my field, which requires that. There's also underpreparedness of students coming in, especially in maths and science. The world is being disrupted today, the internet, smartphones, and everything, so kids are then distracted. There's high drop rates in the country, about 50% never graduate. And then, of course, the impact of mergers of the universities, cultural difference still persist. Then this brings in opportunities where then universities can tap into the market and industry needs, and that can then assist in the infrastructure that is required. The communities can be then engaged with and then to offer meaningful solutions. Research and contract collaboration regionally, locally, and globally can come into play. There's opportunity for staff exchange with industry and other institutions. With the COVID-19, there's more opportunities for curriculum transformation and regeneration, and calling for the move to fully online provisioning. Entrepreneurship, bringing in incubators, third stream generation where you can do contract research with industry and government. But as you do all that, we also then need to address the national imperatives. I've only mentioned about NDP 2030, where there's a call for expansion and transformation of the university system, where there's need to grow in numbers, especially in ACT, science, engineering, technology. But then there's also need to increase participation rates and also address the redress problem. There's need to increase proportions of postgraduate students and improvement of qualification academic staff, among others. So all this together require sound approach, and the university has come up with 4 strategic thrusts. Number 1 being student-centeredness and engaged scholarship. And in this area, my take is done. There'll be need, if I'm appointed, then to review, do curriculum regeneration, where there'll be content and orientation being looked at critically. We need to introduce then our students from first year to artificial intelligence, inculcating them entrepreneurial skills, ethical behavior, and general life skills so that they can fit into the world. On the area of access with success, there'll be then a drive to provide targeted student support to improve success, especially in maths and science. Orientation is very important. As they come in, we'll need to make sure that transition from high school to tertiary level is done in a way that when you start classes, there's no distraction. Delivery mode, tutors will need to be appointed and in a proper way, and mentorship provided to students. There'll be a drive towards appointing success rate officer in the faculty to be assisted by champions. And here I see UCDG coming in to play a big role, and of course, involvement of industry. In the area of staff development, there'll be targeted deployment of staff development. In the area of pedagogical skills, improving qualifications, providing lecturers with lecture relief, postgraduate supervision, writing skills, industry attachments, and so on. Linked to number 1, there'll be need then for full implementation of active learning principles where technology will be embraced in a blended teaching and learning approach, and where possible, introduce fully online programs. In the area of chairs and centers of excellence, there'll then be targeted strengthening of those chairs, attraction of more, and then providing meaningful support to them to enhance their productivity. The second thrust of entrepreneurial university, again linked to the previous point on chairs and centers, again bring incubators, bring in students to be actively involved in that so that they get the training that is required. Third stream income is something I've done a lot to initiate and enhance contract work with government, with industry, through tenders and so on, do short learning programs and for each department and plow back the proceeds to the department. In the area of innovation, then not just to produce patents, but to drive towards commercialization of those products and to encourage startups within the university. The third area, which is governance for outstanding scholarship, there'll be great need for monitoring and evaluation. We'll provide effective governance structures within the